Whether he's posing on the volleyball court, freezing opponents in their tracks with his outstanding flying skills, or winning the Top Gun trophy, he does it all as cool as a cucumber. Today, we're going to look at the medal ribbons of legendary Navy flying ace, the Iceman. Superbly played by the late Val Kilmer in the first Top Gun movie, we see Lieutenant Tom Kazansky, callsign Iceman, showing 6 awards on his ribbons, these being a Presidential Unit Citation, Navy Meritorious Unit Commendation, Navy Efficiency Ribbon with 1 E-device, Navy Expeditionary Medal, Humanitarian Service Medal, and finally Navy and Marine Corps Sea Service Deployment Ribbon. So the Navy Expeditionary Medal, I'm a little unsure what Iceman would have been awarded this for during this period, this era. Initially, I did think of the US invasion of Grenada in 1983. However, to my understanding, that's an Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal award. So perhaps Lebanon in 1983. If you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments, but still a little unsure on this one, can't really confirm it. The Humanitarian Service Medal is an interesting one. This is issued for assistance given by the military for a domestic disturbance such as a riot or hurricane, or for international incidents such as evacuating civilians. Perhaps Iceman was involved in the evacuation of hundreds of civilians and diplomats from Lebanon in 1984. So, as you might suspect, the original ribbons or medals awarded to Iceman in Top Gun differ in Top Gun Maverick, as we shall see. Being a Navy man, when he wasn't playing with the boys in volleyball matches, Iceman would hang around swanky bars and clubs, and unlike the majority of sailors who would be hammering the blues and blind drunk within an hour or two, bizarrely, in one scene, is sipping iced water and wearing sunglasses in a dark club. We can't judge him too harshly, however. Maybe he's got a hangover from the night before, or he's got an early rise for pilot training in the morning. Having to concentrate not only on enemy bogies, he also had to deal with a Rio with personal hygiene issues. No doubt with Slider in the back seat, that cockpit would have got pretty pongy after a particularly tough dogfight. In Top Gun Maverick, we see a much larger ribbon set, representative of his distinguished career as a 4-star admiral and commander of the US Pacific Fleet. At his funeral service, we see a portrait of Iceman showing his ribbons. There is no longer a Navy Expeditionary or Humanitarian Service Medal. The ribbons we see are for the following awards. Number 1, the Defence Distinguished Service Medal. This is awarded for exceptional performance of duty and contributions to national security or defence at the highest levels. Number 2, a Distinguished Flying Cross. Pretty self-explanatory when you're dealing with Iceman. The next, I'm not so sure, but possibly a Defence Meritorious Service Medal. It's really hard to see being covered up with the collar. It could also perhaps be a Bronze Star. Next, Meritorious Service Medal. Seems to be the 2 of them here, which looks like a mistake. Then we have a Navy Marine Commendation Medal, a Joint Service Achievement Medal, Navy Marine Achievement Medal, Navy Combat Action Ribbon with Star, Presidential Unit Citation, Joint Meritorious Unit Award, Navy Unit Commendation, Sea Service Deployment Ribbon, National Defence Service Medal, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal with 2 Bronze Stars, Afghanistan Campaign Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal, Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Sea Service Deployment Ribbon with 3 stars, Kuwait Liberation Medal from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait Liberation Medal from Kuwait. And finally, what looks to me like a NATO former Yugoslavia medal, but I've seen other sources claim it's a United Nations medal. For me, it's hard to make out with the light. The Sea Service Deployment Ribbon as well looks like it's a mistake, as it's in 2 different places on his ribbon bar, which is not in the correct order of precedence. I'm a bit confused as to why, looking at Iceman's medal ribbon set, I didn't see a Southwest Asia Campaign Medal for the First Gulf War, even though we do clearly see 2 foreign service decorations, the Kuwait Liberation Medal from both Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. So, was he issued an Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal in its stead? Was it a mistake? I'm not so sure. You pugs really are cowboys. You're everyone's problem. That's because every time you go near a treats box, you're unsafe. I don't like you because you're greedy and break wind. In summary, for Iceman's campaigns, I would speculate he joined the Navy around 1981, served in the Mediterranean, possibly in Lebanon, then in Grenada, perhaps as a rookie pilot. Obviously a classified action with Maverick in 1986 in the Indian Ocean. I would have initially thought the tanker wars, but then the MiG-28s have red stars on them, so I'm unsure of the origin of where those planes come from. Maybe the Soviets were helping the Iranians in this scenario, who knows? If you have a theory, let me know in the comments. I suspect the Iceman was also involved in the US invasion of Panama in 1989 in Operation Just Cause to get his Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal or star to that medal. The First Gulf War, former Yugoslavia, perhaps enforcing the no-fly zone during the 90s too, and then with the GWAT, the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts. Let me know if you think I've missed any. Perhaps Iceman should have been awarded one more medal for continually covering the behind of Maverick throughout his entire career, even saving his butt from the wrath of Don Draper, aka Vice Admiral Simpson. So there are Iceman's medals. It's been a shorter than planned video this week, but I will be getting stuck into Maverick and Viper or Jester in later videos, going into more details about their life, times and campaigns. I just want to sincerely thank everyone for sending in new ideas and suggestions. As you can imagine, I've had quite a few for Iceman in the last week or so in wake of the sad passing of Val Kilmer. But I get many suggestions, and what I do is I put them up on a whiteboard to my left. I have a long pipeline, and it ranges from real life heroes to movie stars, TV stars, and even more nuanced subjects on medals themselves, such as medal inflation and various parts to medal collecting. So at some point, I do aim to get round to pretty much as many as I can of these. But again, I just want to thank everyone for sending in those suggestions, as it saves me a lot of time then having to think out ideas. I'd say about 90% of the actual content I put out now are based on viewer suggestions, and occasionally I'll throw one in there which something that I might see on TV or something that might interest me, a sort of specific area. But otherwise it's pretty much the viewers now that are driving the content. So thank you very much. Thanks for watching. I hope you found some value from this, and I'll see you in the next one.